Hello and welcome into the very frustrated and filled with many emotions Knicks-Verse here. This was not obviously the result any Knicks fan wanted. Obviously, it's painful. It's painful to watch your team that you have a lot of high hopes for basically just fold in the third quarter to the Boston Celtics, who you are chasing in the standings. It happened. It's incredibly frustrating. I have highlights for you. We're going to break this thing down. Man. Okay, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button for me. Share this video. And drop your comments because I want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this game, the Knicks in general, and anything I may say, whether you agree with or disagree with or whatever. You guys are my collaborators, and we're very close to 10,000 subscribers right now. Dangerously close, so please join the Knicks-Verse, and thank you to everyone who already has. Truly appreciate the support. We can commiserate together in our misery of suffering through another annihilation by the Boston Celtics. Ugh. And the fact that this happened on our floor makes it even worse. This right now, this is the vibe right now. There it is. Right there. Look at Mikal, Josh, and Kat. They all look completely, utterly disgusted with themselves. And I'm glad. They should be. Now, do we want to take this game and put it under the microscope in terms of, is this the team? Is this all they have? Is this what... basically, if we play the Celtics in the second round, or somehow the Celtics overcome the Cavs in the standings and get the 1 seed, and we have to face the Cavs and then maybe face Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, it's possible. It's possible that this is indicative of what could happen in the playoffs. I personally don't think it is. I don't. Now, there's 2 games that are in the books to tell me I'm wrong. And we've lost to the Cavs before, and we lost both games to OKC. But the Cavs game, that was a close game. We could have had that game. We should have had that game, actually. And we're going to play them soon. We play the Celtics again. We have a lot more games against the Elite 3 teams. Well, actually, not against OKC, but the other 2 of the Elite 3 teams, the 2 teams in the East. I'm not scared of the Cavs. I'm going to just say I'm not, especially if we have Mitch coming back. I'm not scared of the Cavs. Could we lose to them in a playoff series? Absolutely, of course. They're playing fantastic. And they just added DeAndre Hunter, who is a Nick killer. All that said, I think we could beat the Cavs in a 7-game series. But the Celtics right now, they look like they are our kryptonite, and mostly for one specific reason. You cannot play a team like the Celtics if you are not going to play the game the way they play the game. They took 39 3-pointers tonight. The Knicks only attempted 24, and I believe 3 of those were in garbage time. So that means they only attempted 21. You're not going to achieve anything against that team unless you try to match them in 3-point shooting volume. That is just the reality of this motherfucking game right now. That's just the way it is. Now, they are more suited. They're better positioned to play that style. And we were missing OG, and we're still, Mitch is on the horizon, but we're missing OG. That hurts a lot. And Kat was questionable for this game, and I think even Josh Hart was questionable for this game. So obviously, the 3 days off, because they last played Tuesday, didn't really help this team heal. In fact, they looked like slow. In the blink of an eye, they were down 10. It was 12-2 right away. And Mikal, Josh Hart, and Precious combined in that first quarter for 2 for 16. Now, you're going to tell me we're not missing OG? Like, that shouldn't be a factor? Our best defender right now, outside of Mitch, OG's our best defender. I mean, our entire defense is predicated on what OG can do on one end and what Mikal does on the other. Because Cat, especially Cat with a bum hand and something wrong with his knee, he was on skates trying to guard Jason Tatum. So, and zero. All right, let me get to this, though. This is the thing. I have one stat to show you guys. One stat that explains this whole issue. Here it is. Here are the team comparisons. Look how many blocks the Celtics got tonight. 7. The Knicks had 1. 1 single block. And you know why? Because nobody was putting their fucking hands up. Nobody was challenging these Celtics as they were coming into the paint. I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know, Precious is usually good for at least a block or two. He was a non-factor. And I think starting Precious against a team like the Celtics was a complete and utter blunder. You cannot have two guys, Hart and Precious, who basically are compromised in terms of shooting the ball from the outside. And Precious, he struggles to even get to the hoop and deliver, unless it's like, someone feeds him the ball or alley-oop or whatever. Once in a while he tries it, but his handle is just not there. He doesn't have a real offensive package. He's just incredibly athletic, but against quality players, a championship team, he is unplayable against the Boston Celtics. So now we have him and Josh Hart on the court. And so it all falls on Mikal, Brunson, and Cat. Cat was also basically insignificant in that first quarter. He gave us, what was he? In the first quarter, Cat was 1 for 2. He took 2 shots. It was a 3-pointer he hit, which is great. But look at this. 0 for 2 for Precious. 0 for 5, Josh Hart. I'm kind of getting tired of Josh Hart starting off so slowly in games. He is a pivotal player of our offense. We need him. We need his energy. We need the easy buckets that he gets. Several times he'd try to drive. He'd fumble it. I don't know. They looked like they were more worried about the snowstorm, what that was going to do to their commute home tonight. That's what they looked like to me. They didn't look like they were ready for this game or this team at all. The Celtics are the champs. And you cannot come out and give this kind of offensive performance. Dude should have started this game. Now, he is struggling as well. He only hit 1 bucket tonight, but his defense, and you cannot leave Deuce wide open either. It's like, even if he's not hitting his buckets, but you sure can leave Precious wide open. You can leave Josh Hart wide open. They left him wide open. Look, 0 for 5. It paid off. 0 points. He was a -15, and Cat was a -15, and Mikal Bridges a -11 in that first quarter. So we're down 11 in the first quarter, and somehow by the end of the first half, the Knicks were only down 13. And I say only because they were playing terrible defense. Now, the other reason why you cannot only shoot 24 3-pointers against a team like the Celtics is because the Celtics, they shoot the highest volume in the NBA. Now, they're not shooting at the highest percentage. They're only 10th, right? 36.9%. Knicks are still 6th. We were 3rd and 4th for quite a while. It's drifted down to we're now 6th. But look at the volume. 48 they attempt. That is 11 more than we do. And look how many they make. Almost 18 of those they make. That is a lot of points to try to make up for inside the paint. Inside. When you have guys like Precious who have 0 offensive package, who Josh Hart kept driving into congestion and not realize what else to do. He even at one point threw the ball right to Jaylen Brown. Boom. Poof. Fast break. Other end. They look so confused. And why? Why were they so confused? It is truly mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. But let me show you this, too. So this is why you have to shoot the threes. All right? The top three-point shooting team in terms of volume and makes in the NBA, the Boston Celtics. The New York Knicks are the worst defensive team of defending the three-point shot in the NBA. This is a three-point shot, three-pointers up here. You can see. Let me pull this down. Yeah, right here. Three-pointers. See this right here? Here, three-pointers. This is the defensive field goal percentage. We allow them to make 37.8%, which is higher than our percentage. So if you're the kind of defense that doesn't get out on the perimeter and force these guys off the perimeter and challenge their three-point shots, they're going to make them. And they're going to make them and make them and make them. And tonight was a complete bloodbath from long range. This game was lost in many ways, but that particular aspect of the game cannot be overlooked. Even if the Celtics are challenging your three-point shots, forcing you to take a little bit more difficult shot, contested shot than you want, than you prefer, you still have to find a way as a team to get those, to launch those shots. Cat actually, he made his first one. I don't understand why Cat didn't keep shooting from the three. And Brunson, he was actually pretty decent. Why didn't he keep shooting from the three? You have to. Even if you're cold, you might catch fire and hit 2 or 3 in a row. That's just the way it goes. You have to keep going down that path. But when you have guys like Precious out there, who's a very reluctant three-point shooter, he can hit the corner one from time to time. And that's cool. That's cool when you have OG on the floor, and, Precious is your 5, and you have OG, McCall, and Brunson, and Deuce, or Cat. You have Cat out there, and he's launching threes. You can, you can handle not having, another guy who can help space the floor. But you can't have 2. You can't. And when you stop shooting them, then what happens to the floor? Boom. Collapses. And then it makes it harder for Brunson to get in there and score. It makes it harder for Cat to do his thing. It makes it harder for Josh Hart to lean into his he's a usually great finishing at the rim. Today he missed several right around the rim that he normally makes. And Precious as well. Precious was sometimes just chucking the ball. It was just going over the hoop, like 3 or 4 feet away from the hoop. Just chuck it. It was just going over. Just total air balls. Total air balls. This is the vibe. This is the vibe right now. This is what it is. Ian Begley summed it up beautifully here. New York Knicks cut Boston lead to 3 midway through the third quarter. But Jason Tatum took over, scoring or assisting on 20 of Boston's next 27 points as they closed the third quarter on a 26-9 run. Now that, mind you, is after the Knicks went on a 19-9 run to begin the third quarter to chop that 13-point deficit down to just 3. When Mikal Bridges hit that three-pointer from the right, I was like, oh my God, we cut it down to 3. We're finally, this is it. Our team's showing up right now. Our third quarter team, because for most of the season, the Knicks have been an excellent third quarter team. But then what happened? Now, here's the problem with defending that three-point line. You have to do it right. You can't foul the shooter. Twice the Knicks fouled. They fouled Tatum. And I thought it was 3 times at first, but it was twice. They fouled Tatum, and then they fouled White, Derek White. And they both went to the free throw line, hit all 3 of them. Meanwhile, Cat's missing free throws. But free throws were the reason why the Knicks were even had a chance. Were within striking distance. Brunson made 11 of 11 free throws in that first half. Outstanding. The Knicks had gone to the free throw line 15 times in that first half, compared to I think the Celtics had only gone 8 times or something. That definitely changed the complexion of the game. Tatum finished with 40 points in the win versus the New York Knicks. He has 77 total points on 27 for 44 shooting in 2 games versus the New York Knicks this year. Now, you can look at that and say, hey, that's fucking Mikal Bridges, man. Where was he? Did he step up? You know what? Mikal, actually, he did a nice job in that second quarter against them. I think Tatum was like 2 of 7 or something in that second quarter. But that third quarter, once he started feeling comfortable, he just lit on fire. He was like the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. He just was blazing and everything. He just throwing up. He was shooting, and he was getting contested. Mikal was all over him a lot of times, but his handle, his ability to weave between defenders and get into the paint is just, it's just superstar level. He became a blazing superstar tonight, and the Knicks almost had an answer because Brunson was cooking in that third quarter as well. So we almost had an answer. You can see right here. Let's go back to this. I do have highlights for you guys, so don't worry about that. Here's the third quarter. Look at that. Tatum, 19 points in that third quarter. 6 of 9. He played the entire third quarter. So did Derek White. He came through with 14 points. Those two destroyed us, and look what they were. They were 5 of 8. 5 of 8 from the three-point line. And that's basically the story. And to think that the Knicks were once winning this third quarter. But Brunson, right here, comes through with 10 points. Then Josh Hart started picking it up. No three-pointers. No, all of this was around the rim. But he came through with 10 points. Precious, 0 points. He did not. Oh, here's an adjustment that Thibs made. An adjustment that he made in this game. So he started Precious, but in the second quarter, he started Deuce. And you can see the game shifted. Now, in the first, as I read to you before, in the first 5 minutes and 20 seconds, the Knicks went on a 19-9 run. And that was Deuce, Brunson, Mikal, Cat, and Josh Hart. Then Mazzulla called a timeout, made an adjustment, and he started hunting Cat and hunting Brunson, and basically left Josh Hart wide open beyond the three-point line, and Deuce as well. They didn't leave him wide open, but they definitely weren't covering him as intensely. But Brunson, he definitely was having trouble. At least he could have gone off for even more. He could have gone off for like 15, 16. Now, the Celtics did a nice job of trying to contain him. But, man, Tatum just completely exploded. And they outscored the Knicks 26-9 to end that third quarter. They outscored the Knicks 61-37 for the rest of the game. All right, let's get back to this. All right, do this here. This is one little bright spot here, and it's a huge one. Shams on Mitchell Robinson. I'm told he and Knicks have goal of before March 1st, potentially his season debut. Wow. Some good news. On OG, I'm told specifically it's a toe issue. Targeting return some point after All-Star break. More an irritating injury, not something structurally wrong or serious. That is great news. Now, I know toes are weird. Sometimes they hurt a lot longer than they should, but it does seem like he'll be back. It does seem like he'll be back. So that is great news because we desperately need those two guys to defeat this green monster of a team. We have to. Even though KP didn't play and Drew didn't play, it doesn't matter. What OG means to our current defense is much more significant than what Kristaps or Drew mean to the Celtics in terms of our defensive structure. I mean, we have a weak point guard defensively and a weak center defensively. At times, Cat can step up, and he did. In that third quarter, he started challenging shots. He's challenging shots at the rim. But, man, was the rebounding a real major issue. The rebounding was actually a big factor here. You can see here, the Knicks were out-rebounded 48-30. Out-rebounded 48-30. The Knicks could only get 16 assists. But the blocks is really the glaring number right there. And then you look at second chance points. Knicks lost that, a minus 12 right there. Points in the paint, that was minus 4, but I think a lot of that, minus 4. Not sure. Some of that might have been in garbage time that the Knicks kind of clawed back in. There weren't many fast breaks points in this game. We won that battle, or plus 4 there. But the second chance points just shows you the hustle wasn't there. And a lot of times it was just the ball just bounced the wrong way. Or like sometimes someone deflected it, like Precious would deflect the ball, and it would literally hit McCall in the chest and bounce off because McCall wasn't even ready for that when they're playing on the defensive end. And it ended up in the hands of a guy wearing green. So it was frustrating in that respect in terms of where the loose balls ended up going. All right, let's go back to here. All right, let's get to the highlights. So you can see they scored the first bucket, and very quickly, look at Tatum right there. What a beautiful stroke. Beautiful stroke he's got. Look at this right here. Boom. So Hart plays him well, but then when he does the fadeaway, didn't meet that, didn't reach out to him, so he gave him a clear view. Look at this. We're already down 10, 14. We were down 12-2 before. Now, 6. It was 16-4. Oh, yeah. This got off to a really. Look at this. They got Brunson just moving around behind screens. And they take the ball out. They stretch the court itself. 29-footer from Tatum right there. He was pretty amazing in this game tonight. No denying that. He started out, he was 4 of 8 in that first quarter, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 10 points. 8 points for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's been struggling from the three-point line. That was a nice bucket there. Look at this. Again, no hand up. Boom. See? That's what I mean. A deflection. Precious is just standing there flat-footed. Precious was atrocious in this game. There's no sugarcoating it one way or another at all. He is just unplayable against the Boston Celtics. Completely unplayable. I gotta take a breath for a second. Take a breath here. So now we're still only down 14 here. Boom. Now it's up to 16. Deuce is in there. Horford just goes right. Oh, look at that one. Oof. So now we're down 18. But Brunson starts kicking into gear. He gets the and one. Now it's a 12-point game. Oh, actually, that was the beginning of the third quarter. So anyway, the Knicks cut it down to 13 right there. But now the Knicks begin to go on a run, and Brunson is a big, major reason for that happening. Look at that, and he gets the and one. Love the way he uses his body. People call that foul baiting. That is not foul baiting, in my opinion. Oh, look at that crossover. See how he just crossed Cat over so easily. Cat just did not look like himself. He tried. Look at him now. He's a more concerted effort to clog that area up, and then look. They do a good job. They force Tatum to miss, but no one boxes out Cornette, and he dunks it. Here comes Cat. A beautiful dunk there. And now it cuts it the lead down. The depth was once 13. Now it's only 8. And then they keep going. It's down to 6. Nice defense right there. Boom. This is the big three-pointer. Oh, I started losing my shit right here. I was like, yes, we're coming through. 12-2 run. Let's go. And now they stretch the floor, so they force defenders. They basically turn defenders into traffic cones in a DMV driver's test, and Tatum just shoots right through it because there's no one in the back end to give you the final rim protection like a Mitch will do. Mitch will bring us that, or OG will as well. So now the lead is ballooning back up. It's at 16. They're here on a 16-3 run, the last 4 something. And look at that. McCall was all over Tatum right there. He just shot right over him. Here we go. Look at this. I mean that. Yeah. I mean, he hunted Brunson for the switch, so of course he can shoot over Brunson pretty easily. But still, I mean, these are big time superstar buckets that he's making, and we didn't have an answer on our end for that. Normally, Cat would be if Cat even listen. Think about this game. Yeah, we lost by 27, right? Cat scored only 9 points. Let's say Cat was like fully healthy, at least a hand, you know. Or actually, you need both, man. They need those legs. Let's say he was fully healthy, and he gives you 36. This game is a close game. It's a tight game. It's almost probably go to overtime, and Cat is very capable of doing that. Now it would have required Brunson to score 56 or something to make up for the low scoring that Cat provided tonight. So here at the beginning of the fourth, we're already down 20. And it just keeps getting worse from there. Hart finally did make a few of those. I mean, that was a tough shot to make. But there were easier ones early on that these highlights aren't showing you that he missed. Look at that. Boom. Just steps right into that 28-footer. And Pritchard, he also was a big factor in that first half. Look at Cornette. A Knicks draft pick. Oh. I mean, I don't know what else is there to watch here, honestly. Look at that. That's another thing. Look at that. Just Cornette tips it in. So even when Knicks forced the Celtics to miss the few times that they did, they ended up getting second chance opportunities and dominating in that. So look at Cat hustling, and boom, just right over him. And where was Precious in that play? And Precious, look at Precious' body language. It just doesn't look. Look at that. I mean, it's really shocking. Really shocking. All right, I can't watch this anymore. Look at it. Precious is tumbling around the floor, and then Pritchard shoots a 30-footer. Insanity. All right, here you can see the stats a little closer up. Brunson came through with a monster game himself, 36 points in 36 minutes. 3 of 7 from the three-point line. He's been shooting very well from the three-point line of late, but only 30 rebounds, like I mentioned before, for the Knicks. Campaign finished with 14 points. Some of that was in garbage time, but he did provide some early scoring. Look at the plus-minus. Pressure's a minus 37, and it shows. 3 points he scored. He played 33 minutes, 3 points. He scored a point every 11 minutes. That just can't be. And only 4 rebounds for the power forward / center. 4 rebounds for the power forward / Now Mikal, look, 11 points. He only gave us 11 points tonight, but he had a tough assignment, which was Tatum, who was cooking him. Well, he was just on fire. He was a minus 11. Minus 26 for Towns. Definitely shows it on. I saw it, and you can see it in the highlights. Brunson a minus 19, but Josh Hart a minus 31. This might be one of his worst plus minus games as a Knick, I think. Campaign a minus 13 and Deuce a minus 10. Ariel Hawkporty did get some time in this game, but not much in the second half. Basically, if you look at this, Hawkporty played some in the first half, but then didn't play at all until the game was over in the fourth quarter, garbage time. So, really, Thibs against the Boston Celtics, Thibs went with a 7-man rotation, and really, it was really just a 6-man rotation for most of this game because Payne's 19 minutes. Wait, how many minutes did he play in the fourth quarter, Payne? Cam Payne played the entire fourth quarter. So he played the entire fourth quarter. So for the first 3 quarters, Thibs went with a 6-man rotation, basically. It's nuts. I mean, where was Matt Ryan? Maybe he comes in, he catches fire, he hits 2 or 3 3-pointers, wakes the other guys up. You know, confidence is a huge aspect of basketball. All right, Landry Shamet, he finally did come into the game. And, he hit a 3-pointer, hit a couple buckets, got to the free throw line. He's definitely been terrible lately, but maybe this is the game. You bring him in a little earlier. No. And here are the Celtics stats. That 40 for Tatum just is amazing. 25 points for Pritchard. It's crazy. And to think that the Knicks were thinking about drafting him at one point. Here are the team comparisons again. The Knicks shot 42.2% overall. Just not going to cut it. But only 2 less field goal attempts. So we got our shots up, but just not the right ones, because only 24 of those were 3-pointers. That's a shame. That is a shame. The Knicks never led in this game. Never led. And that is the vibe. And that's the vibe. It'll stay like that until the Knicks can finally beat the Cavs and the Celtics in the regular season. Now, I'm more worried about the postseason. What I've seen does not encourage me right now. If Mitch can't come back and be the Mitch that we had last season, at least before the first injury, or the Mitch that we had in the playoffs, and if OG is going to come back, and hopefully he'll stay healthy for the remainder of the year and into the playoffs. They are essential for this Knicks team to be able to defeat the Celtics, if they even have a chance to beat them right now. Now, it might be where we face them in the second round, because they're the second seed right now and we're the third seed. Now, the Cavs, we'll see what happens with them. The Celtics are inching closer to them, so it's possible the Celtics eclipse the Cavs to take the number 1 seed, and then we end up facing the Cavs in the second round. And like I said earlier, I do not fear the Cavs in a 7-game series if we have a healthy OG and a healthy Mitch. Of course, if we're healthy, let's put it that way. If we're healthy enough, if we're healthy, we can beat the Cavs in the playoffs. But I have a big question mark of whether we can beat the Celtics right now. I'm going to have to see what kind of adjustments Thibs can make. Precious has to be used much differently than he's being used now. He is just too small to play, and he doesn't really defend the perimeter well. Tonight, he didn't defend anybody well at all. And then you have Josh Hart. I mean, we're small. We're a small team. So that's why we need to have Mitch and Cat learn how to share the court together. So hopefully, like we saw earlier, here we go, that Mitch will be with us right before March 1st. That will give Cat and Mitch enough floor time. Cat's already had some floor time with Huck Porty to learn how it is to work with someone who's not a floor spacing 5. And he already knows how to do that with Rudy Gobert. So we're going to have to see, because that is going to be the format, because this is the team that we've got now. Yes, can TJ Warren be brought up March 1st as well and give us some scoring punch? Because we need some guys who can just score. Deuce has been struggling. Deuce has been struggling a lot of late. So we need guys who can consistently score. TJ Warren is lighting it up in Westchester. He should definitely be added to the roster. But let me tell you, unless he comes up and continues that amazing play from Westchester and translates it back into the NBA, Thibs is not going to use him in the playoffs. So let's hope that he comes up and he earns the confidence of Thibs so that we can go with a nice, solid 8-man rotation. Because I think in the playoffs, campaign is probably going to drop off. So it's going to be, and it's tough against the Celtics. Precious is just not effective at all. So we'd have a Mitch, Deuce, and let's say TJ Warren, and then with the current starting 5. Now, will Mitch start eventually? I don't think so. I don't think Thibs is going to do that, but we'll see how things go. It's going to be a work in progress. But tonight was game 52. There's 30 games left in the season. And Mitch will probably be available for about, what are you guys thinking, like 20, 24, 25 of those games? That'll be great. 25 games should be enough to work out the kinks and see if maybe this team can develop a chemistry defensively and stop and drop the drop coverage. The drop coverage is a complete and utter mistake for this team. I did like what I saw from Mikal. He was fighting over screens a lot. But the problem was Cat was the one involved with the switches, and Cat just wasn't up to the level to be able to handle the deal with Jason Tatum, especially a compromised Cat right now with a bad knee and a bad hand or whatever is happening with him. But then having Mitch on the floor is definitely going to help. Having OG on the floor is definitely going to help. And maybe OG's the one who, maybe OG and Mikal, split time between covering Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So it's not only, they're just not on them all. They don't get the same look the whole time. Give them some different looks. Sometimes trap them. Get the ball out of Tatum's hands. Seal the gap. Too many times the gap isn't like, it's just too much room. And Tatum can snake right through it, as you saw in the highlights. It's a lot of things that can be done. And Mitch is going to have to be utilized kind of like as a free safety out there. And he's done it in the past. Thibs has used him like that in the past. So hopefully that will be the key. It's interesting to think that they could make that much of an impact to be at least get us to the point where we're having a conversation that the Knicks can challenge the Celtics in a 7-game series. Because right now, we cannot have that conversation. Right now, the Knicks are outclassed. And that has to change. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Follow me on social media, Blue Sky, Twitter, Threads, and whatnot. And subscribe to this channel. And please share the video. Hit the thumbs up button for me and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about anything Knicks. All right. Man, what a bummer. What a bummer. Right after that 3-point shot went down that Mikal hit and cut the lead down to just 3. Cut the deficit to 3. I really thought this was going to be a very different recap tonight. All right, I'll see you around the Knicks-Verse.